Just give it a minute. It's thinking. Okay.
All right, here we go. What's up, fam? Thanks so much for joining us. This is our very first episode of Path to the Pros. You know what? At Blueprint to Blue Chip, Aaron and I started this company about a year and a half ago. And one of the questions that we get are from families, from the parents, as well as from the student athletes is, what does it take to get to the pros? You know, that's one of the most frequent questions. So we thought what we would do is bring on three gentlemen that have all played together at Vanderbilt, and then they went on to the NFL, and two of them won Super Bowls, and I don't want to steal their thunder, so I'm going to let them talk about that. But team, one of the most important things that we tell these young athletes and these families is we don't have a secret sauce. We don't have a magic bullet. But what we can tell you is you cannot cut corners. There are no shortcuts. You can't check a box. And you got to enjoy and embrace the process. So tonight we've got Emmanuel, KB, and Jared that are joining us. All three of them played together at Vanderbilt, and then they went on to the league. So I'm going to start off with Emmanuel. Tell us, Emmanuel, about your nickname. Tell us how you ended up at Vanderbilt. Tell us how long were you in the league. Tell us everything about you, what you're doing now, and what you did before.
Yeah, no. So nickname have many. I go by E-Man, Smitty, and then my linebacker coach gave me a nickname Bull, probably because I was stubborn. How I got to Vandy, I originally wanted to play safety in college, and I was probably one of the bigger size safeties coming out of high school at the time. And the coaches at Vandy were like, "Hey, we like big safeties. We'll leave you there." And everybody else was telling me, "You're going to be a linebacker. You're going to be a linebacker." Hindsight's always 2020. So I played safety my freshman, sophomore, junior year. Then my senior year, I moved to linebacker. And then from that is where I transitioned to the league, and I played linebacker in the league for about 5 years. And then a year and a half in the XFL to end my career. Great teams, Atlanta, Tampa, and Kansas City were the teams that I played on. Now I'm in legal tech consulting sales, and I help big Fortune 500 companies put processes in place to be successful.
Whoa. What happened at Kansas City?
I got a chance to play in 2 Super Bowls.
There
Got
we go.
got a chance to win one, and then sadly, Tom Brady took one from us, so we didn't get to have two back to back.
Right on. That's incredible. It doesn't mean a thing without the ring. KB, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long have you been at Vanderbilt? How long have you known these guys? And everything else you want to share with us?
Yeah, so known E-Man since junior year, known Jared since his freshman, my sophomore year. So I went to Vanderbilt, stayed there for 5, played 4, did the whole red shirt thing. Just like E-Man, went in as a safety, moved to linebacker, then moved over to running back, and then after my time at running back, I moved to fullback in the NFL. Um, and so I spent 6 years in the NFL between the Titans, the Bears, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Ended up getting a chance to follow E-Man and win a Super Bowl with the Eagles after, I was with the Titans and we played Kansas City, and they decided to go ahead and snatch one from us in the AFC Championship game my rookie year. They snatched it and went on to go win it. So, but I eventually got one with Philly, and so now I'm studying for my CFP. I'm going to be moving into a career in financial planning. So that is a little bit about myself.
Well, team, there you go. There's our 2 rings. Last but not least, our anchorman, Jared. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you pick Vanderbilt? How long were you there? Tell us a little bit about what you were doing there and what you're doing now.
Yep. So similar to E-Man and KB, well, not similar. My story is I know both of them since before I even got to school. I think KB might have been on my visit, and then E-Man for sure I saw. Uh, so after that, got there 5 years in and out, kind of, some rocks, some great moments. I did not follow in their footsteps when they told me in high school, like, hey, you're going to be a tight end as a receiver. I'm like, okay, I'll be a tight end from the get-go. And Vanderbilt wanted to feature that position, so that's why I decided to go. After Vanderbilt, it was 4 years in NFL: Falcons, Lions, Titans, Rams, and Bears. We did not go 3 for 3 with the Super Bowls because when I was with the Rams, the year that they won it, I decided to go make my year count and play the last 2 games with the Lions, and was sitting on the couch watching them lift the Lombardi when they did that. So, that was awesome. But other than that, now I'm in film school studying to be a screenwriter and, the other things that come with that, editing, directing, producing, blah, blah, blah. But on top of that, I am a financial professional and, I wear a lot of hats right now, like cycling and blah, blah, blah. There's a ton of stuff I do, but the passion is in film and the pursuit of that.
I love it. That's fantastic. So let's get the golden question out of the way. We'll start with you, KB. What does it take to get to the league?
I think the prerequisites that you have to have are, you gotta learn how to be on time, show up every day. You gotta love it. You gotta have a heart for it, and you gotta just be resilient. I think after after you do that, after you learn the game and you just put time after time after time in, and you stay resilient, I think there's a lot about chance and just, in my opinion, being blessed. You call it fate or whatever, but I got blessed to have the opportunities to be in those rooms, and then that's just when you rinse and repeat, and you do the foundational things that got you there. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say that it's a lot of chance, right? Because anything can happen. There's injuries. There's a coach might leave. You're in the wrong system, whatever. But you've got to have the main foundational things of showing up on time, being a good teammate, being somebody your teammates can trust, being somebody that your coaches can trust, and then to put it plainly, if we're talking specifically to high school guys, the first thing you got to do is you got to have everything tied up. Like, you got to have your academics tied up. You got to make sure you can actually get into school. Then once you get there, you have to, make sure that stuff is solidified so that you can focus on the field. Then once you do all of the prerequisites of showing up on time, putting the work in, learning your craft, when you get to Saturdays, you got to make it count. You got to be in the moment, and you got to do all of the mental things, the mental training, and the preparation, so that when the lights are on, you can put it on film. Because at the end of the day, and the guys will laugh when I say this, your tape is your resume. So you got to spend time putting together a good resume, and once you get those opportunities, just make the most of the opportunities, and be somebody that teams and coaches and GMs and organizations can trust.
Right on. E-Man, I'm going to ask you that question, but right now some of the questions are already coming in. Carlos from LA, he's a Rams fan. Jared, in Vanderbilt, who's a bigger trash talker, KB or E-Man? Because you play tight end, they play defense.
He's laughing because he knows.
There you go, Carlos. You don't even need an answer.
KB's like to do a job, man. Like, if the job wasn't done, we're not happy with the rep, don't talk to me, whatever. E-Man, I'm happy to be here, man. I'm going to be good. Like, I'll be fine. But for right now, this rep right here was fun. And, like, I beat you, right? Like, I just beat you. Yeah. I beat you, right? That's the
me and Jared had me, Jared, and KB, we used to do workouts. And, like, always, one of us three had to compete against each other to win, like, our belt for the workout for the summer. And then it was one of those things, like, we were either pull each other against tire pools, trying to bear crawl against each other. It was always a competition. And I was like, man, these two guys are strong. But I always had to laugh. But that's
That's great.
Yeah.
These questions are rolling in. We got Steve from Vandy. It looks like we have an alum. Is this the first time you guys have seen each other since at Vandy, or have you guys have a reunion? Is Steve from Vandy?
I wouldn't say we've had a reunion, but I just know E-Man. I can't remember the last time I saw E in person. I know Pink, I saw you in person because me and Pink are both in Atlanta. E, I can't remember the last time we seen each other in person, but we always just get together and, like, talk, whether it's on the phone or So, but all three of us together in the same place, I think it's the first time.
Yeah, first time since college.
Yeah,
that's remarkable. E-Man, what's it take to get to the pros?
Man, I think Corey hit the nail on the head, right? Like, coming out of high school, you have to make sure you got your grades, right? Like, I played with some guys that was probably more talented than me, but they didn't separate themselves because they couldn't put it together in the classroom. They thought they could just be a good high school football player and shine on the field and take them all the way to the next level. And then when you get to, like, the college, man, they got a thing called academic probation. A lot of guys know what that is to hit them. And like, what? I can't play because my grades ain't good. So it's like, man, like I tell kids now all the time, like make sure you get your grades right, right? You want to be successful off the field and on the field. Don't just be one dimensional. And then once you get there, like it's a lot of fun, but it is a job. Like sometimes people get that a little confused. Like I can tell you, my freshman year, me and Kari, I actually talked about this not too long ago. Me and Kari were in, it was maybe a summer camp, and our Coach Maxey, me and Kari were at the very front of the room because we were freshmen, and we're sitting there, and I'm like, bro, I'm beat, like I'm tired. So I'm like, hey, bro, I'm gonna take a little nap. You let me know if Coach Maxey walk up here and like tap me or kick me and let me know if he's coming. All right, so they had a thing like we sitting there, and he was like, "Did I look sleep?" We were like, "Nah, you good?" Like, oh, we snapped. Right, it's like, and then I fell asleep. I remember one time I fell asleep standing up in the back of the room, and I hit the wall, and I was like, man, like, it's different in high school, right? But you learn, you have to figure out how, as Corey said, like don't be late. Like you learn to be accountable. You learn to be how to communicate. And if you don't, they teach you the hard way. Like my linebacker coach, I was late to a meeting for 15 minutes. His name is Coach Marv. He's a DC at Colorado right now. He had me do 1,500 up downs in a week because I was 15 minutes late to a meeting.
Damn.
And he had me do them, and he kept track on his whiteboard like how many I owed him. Like so, he knew when I was done. I was like, you know what? That'll be the last time I'm late to a meeting. I tell you that. But that carried on like into college, into the NFL, like even to now what we're doing in work. Like if you're 5 minutes, if you're on time, you're late. So you always try to be a little bit early. All right. So that's kind of like understanding, like, man, it is a business, but they're preparing you to be successful off the field and on the field. But you got to be the one who wants to take accountability. And if you don't have the heart and the passion and the drive to take your own accountability, have your own standards to be successful, college is gonna burn you out quick. They'll churn and burn you.
Pink, what about you? What's it take to get to the league?
So, and they gave great answers, of course. But I think I'm gonna be a little weird here, and you got to be delusional, you know. Like, there's a ton of people that, like, in one way, it's like, you know, hey, I feel like I'm gonna be, and I'm talking like the general person. I feel like I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna do my thing, and I'm gonna make it in life. To be in the NFL, to be in the NBA, MLB, whatever, it's worse than those. But to be in the NFL, you have to wake up as a 10-year-old, 12-year-old, 5-year-old, and say to yourself, I'm going to be the one in 0.00001. Like
Right.
that's going to be me. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm going to school. I'm having straight A's because I want to play. I'm doing these extra workouts. I'm going to talk to my coaches because I'm going to be in the league, and I'm going to look back on these moments when I'm giving interviews, when I'm accepting awards, when I'm giving, like, practice in the mirror, like holding the Heisman. Well, I guess it'd be like this or whatever. You can tell I haven't won one, but like practice talking like to reporters or something. Be delusional as you can be, man. Like, I'm going to be in NFL. How am I going to be when I get there? And then, like, with that, you better take care of all your business, like they were talking about the grades and making sure your relationships up to par. That's actually a really good one too. Make sure your relationships are really good, like between you and your friends, your parents, your girlfriend, everybody. Just make sure that you're checking the boxes so that that's not taken away from the football.
Right on. This is a great segue into the next question. We got a Chiefs fan, and I'm going to start with you, KB. I'm going to get to you, E-Man, then Pink. When did you guys know you wanted to play in the NFL? Was it grade school? Was it junior high? Was it high school? KB, what about you?
I mean, for me, it was probably before I even put a helmet on. I started playing at 10, but I had always played Madden and stuff like that. So I think I knew I wanted to play in the NFL probably the first time I put the helmet on and like stepped out on the field, and I knew I wanted to do it. I think the different question is, like, when did I realize that I actually had a shot? I think it was when I got my first like D1 college scholarship, because it's like, okay, well, at least I got there. You know, if I got there, then maybe I can go put something on film and get a chance. And then, you know, in college, you just do your best and you hope that, you know, you do enough to get drafted. If you don't get drafted, you do enough to get an opportunity in a mini camp. So when did I want to? When I was a kid. But when did I first realize that I had an opportunity, a real shot, is when I got that first real Division I, you know, Big Ten offer. So Yeah.
Right on. E-Man, how about you? When did you know you wanted to play in the NFL?
I might be a little weird here. My whole goal was to play in college to be on NCAA the video game. That was my brother and I's main goal. It was like, dude, we could be on the video game before NIL. We were like, man, we made it. Right? That was our thing. So we were like, if I could do that, we made it. And kind of as Corey's like, once we kind of started getting our first big offers, I was like, oh shoot, like we actually got talent, right? We actually can play. As Jared said, you gotta be a little delusional. So we had an alter ego, right? But I was like, that hit, and then like when we get into college, and then for me it was like my junior senior year, and I was like, oh, I'm getting good playing time. I'm starting. I'm actually making a name for myself. Like, oh, I got coaches reaching out to me and like agents reaching out to me. Then it was like, okay, this is something that can legitimately happen. And then you realize, like, do you want to go for it, right? Like, do you want to take the risk of going, as Corey said, like, I wasn't projected drafted, I was undrafted. So you had to figure out, like, is that something I want to do? Because that path, I think all three of us went that path. That path is not one for the easy. That path is,
It's not. It's not.
I mean, man, like, you getting up there, getting chewed out, and you seeing people who got drafted and getting a little more chance because they got drafted, and you got to figure out how to be successful and make it yourself. So it's like, man, like, is this something I can believe and I can do? And we took a hold of it. So like when I got my senior year in college, it was like, man, this is a real opportunity I can go play in the NFL. Because now I'm playing in the SEC. We're playing against the guys that we see on TV all the time, like the Jalen Hurts, the you name them. We've all been there with them and tackling them and hitting them. So I was like, oh, I can do this, and it's just getting the shot.
Yep.
Right on. Hey, Pink, before you answer that, E-Man, why don't you tell everybody what a jag is? Because I love that expression.
Just the guy, man. Just the guy.
I would hear the expression of like people would be like, hey, who's number 46? He's a jag. They're like, okay, cool. Because they knew he'd probably gone in the next day or two. Pink, when did you know you wanted to play in the NFL?
For me, it was, I think I gave it away when I was 5. My mom was signing my brother up for football, and I guess they had a 2-for-1 or something. I don't know. But she turned around and like asked me, like, well, do you want to play? I was like, I guess, sure, whatever. But after the first game, I mean, I guess it was just, love at first sight or whatever, because from there it's just been, it's been a very long love letter, to be honest, to football. And then like, I like how KB structured it because like I wanted to when I was young, but I knew I could when we got to high school. Short story for this. There was an ESPN game. We were playing our rivals. I just got reminded of this because I saw one of the guys from that team at an event yesterday. We're playing North Gwinnett. And I ended up being matched up with a corner. I wasn't the fastest guy, who was 6'2", 6'3", 210, like my ideal prototype to stop me, and ended up with an 86-yard touchdown on ESPN. I'm like, bro, all right. So, like, this is legit. And landed right in front of Derek Mason, who ended up being, like, my future coach. I'm like, okay, so we got something here. We just got to put in a little bit of work. Yeah, like, we got something here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. We got a question from Sarah down in Houston. I'm a lifelong Oilers fan, but I remember KB at the Titans when they became the Titans. How did you three know that you wanted to go to Vanderbilt, or how did you pick Vanderbilt out of all the schools that you were getting recruited by KB? Sarah's got a little crush on you.
So for me, I think it was that camp junior year where I met E-Man. I just remember, this is going to sound kind of like romantic, but I just remember I was sitting there with my dad and we were in the stadium, part of it, and Coach Franklin was talking to us. And I think it was like, the group that had kind of been siphoned off, and we're sitting there. And I remember that the stadium was getting returfed. And so it was a lot of, construction going on. And I just remember feeling in my heart, like I was like, yeah, this is where I want to go. Like, this is where I'm going to play football. And I think it was really just a combination of one, it's the SEC, right? And I'm from Alabama, so I grew up watching SEC football. I went to Auburn's camp, had the same type of experience. You go, you have a good camp. The coaches tell you they love you and they put you on the board and you're waiting on something. And then you go to Mississippi State's camp and you have a day and you're on the board and they love you and this and that, and you're getting invited to all these things, but nobody ever pulled the trigger. So for me, being a kid from Alabama, I just kind of wanted to, like, eventually we played Auburn and eventually we played Mississippi State. And so I was excited to do that. And then the So the football part of it, I wanted to compete against the best in the SEC, close to home. And then the academics, like I was a kid in high school who, shout out to my parents, but they made sure that my grades were, impeccable, and I had a vision for what I wanted to do after football. At the time, I wanted to be kind of like a Myron Rolle type guy, be a surgeon. I was pre-med, doing all of that. While I was doing all of that up until junior year, and but I knew I wanted to go to a school where it wasn't going to be like I had to choose between being a football player or being a student. And Vanderbilt, there's a few schools in the country outside of the Ivies. They can't really give scholarships, but there's a few schools in the country where you can go and you can really maximize the network and the academic rigor and really be prepared, and I think that those are the Stanfords, the Vanderbilts, the Northwesterns, the Wake Forests, the Duke. And so Vanderbilt, it happened how it happened. It played out. I ended up getting the scholarship, and the rest is history. So that's kind of the long-winded answer to say that's kind of how I knew.
I love it. E-Man, how did you pick Vandy?
To be honest with you, I'm from Murfreesboro, right outside of Nashville. I didn't know Vanderbilt was in my backyard until I got an offer, and I remember going down, right, and I knew my brother. We were a year apart, and my brother came and played at Vandy. He was in Pickney's class, so that's how I got to know Pickney really well too. But I remember going down there before I walked into my official visit. My parents like, do not commit. I tell people all the time, it was a lesson for me. I committed to a coach. If I'm being honest with you, like, Coach Franklin had one of the best mouthpieces I've ever seen in the game. Right, like he could talk you and make you run through a tree 10 times and you wouldn't even know it. And I was like, hey, this is great. I'm coming. Walk in. I'm there for about an hour. Walk out. Next thing you know, it's on Twitter. Emmanuel just committed to Vanderbilt. My parents were like, what happened, bro? Like, I thought we said you're not going to commit, and I was like, I don't know. I just fell in love for it. And then I was a decently smart guy. I applied myself. I didn't understand the prestigious of Vanderbilt, like what that actually meant to go to school there, right? And I always knew I wanted to be more than just a football player, but I wanted to live life, right? It's like when I went there, I had a chance to see the guys on the team, but what they were doing, but also like I got to ask questions like, hey, do you guys get to go chance to go study abroad? Like, do you guys like actually do more in Nashville? It's a great city to go to school at, which I think is the best city personally in the SEC. But did you guys do more than just that? And they were like, yeah. So like when I heard that stuff, they gave me an opportunity. Like I went and lived in Brazil during the Olympics for a month and a half to study abroad.
Wow.
Like nobody else that I played with that I knew who went to different schools ever had an opportunity to go study abroad while still playing football. So as KB said, like they made sure that we were actually well-rounded people, not just football players. And I think that sets us up for post-life.
Awesome. Pink, how'd you pick Vandy out of all the schools that were recruiting you?
I'm a Georgia boy, man. So like I grew up in all the SEC stuff, and like E-Man was talking about earlier, that NCAA game, like woof. I was a big fan, to say the least. Like just those kind of things really caught my eye. So I knew two things. I knew I wanted to play in the SEC, and I knew I needed to play in the SEC, like had to. And then I knew I wanted to get a good education. But I was kind of torn between, because I was getting letters from Stanford and there was real interest. And I was like, Stanford, enough said. And, I kind of started to let go of the SEC part a tiny bit. This is like mid-senior summer going into senior year. And, just after we started to kind of get more interest and connection and talking like with Maxie and Coach Bankton, and then, just meet with Mason, the play that I was talking about earlier. I think the one magical moment that it would have been was when I saw my sister on the field. I have a 14-year-old sister, so I'm 28. She's 14 years younger than me. I don't know, I guess she was 4 at the time. So seeing her, like, just in the stadium on the turf, like the big screen that they had in the past, taking a bunch of pictures and like super excited. I kind of saw like what the future could look like with her and all the gear, the tattoos and stuff that they did on their faces, like the pictures. The pictures are so cute. But it was just like that moment, man. Like seeing my entire family, my mom, my brother, my sister, just in this setting and like happy and content, being treated well by the people that were around us. The coaches actually cared, remembering their names and like, oh, Jalen's in high school, all this stuff. I think it was just a combination of the people, the place. I hate to be corny, the people, the place, and the purpose. But like, just, I saw a plan.
Perfect. We got a question from Sean, who's a Notre Dame fan, and he said, Jared, he remembers you playing against the Irish. And he said that he thinks that the NIL and the transfer portal is going to ruin college football. And he's cued in on you, KB. He said you played all 5 years at Vandy. That doesn't happen anymore. Jared, let's start with you. Do you think the NIL and the transfer portal is going to put a dent in college football?
I think they have a unique opportunity in front of them right now. I think they have a chance to set a precedent for what the future could look like. And I think with that comes a ton of responsibility. Obviously, I think the transfer portal in itself is a great tool to be able to, maybe you made it, because at the end of the day, we're 17, 18-year-old kids making decisions about the rest of our lives. So maybe you didn't make the best one, or maybe there's information that you didn't have, or maybe a coach leaves, which is the biggest one to me. So I think the flexibility in and of itself is great. I don't think the jumping from school to school is great. So like maybe you get 1 transfer, 2 transfer, whatever the rule would be, they come to that. I think they already put something down like 1 year. But NIL is deserved, man. But the can of worms that they opened with that for these kids.
You can say it, bro. Wish we got the NIL. I'll say it.
Where's our money?
Hey, I'll say it.
Hey, he dropped the bell, so let's go. If we could have touched bread in Nashville,
man,
come on,
like,
man.
Honestly, I think when it comes to like the game itself, if you just look at last year and you look at Vanderbilt, like Vanderbilt hasn't been, even when we were there and we were doing some things in 2016 and 18, going to bowl games, having some good teams and being competitive, we weren't as competitive as they were this year. And I think all of that is a function of freeing up that money and going and getting some of the guys who, and let's be real, if you in 2016, if you got a Vanderbilt knocking and you got a Georgia knocking, there's a couple more $100 handshakes that are happening at the other school. Now, I'm not allegedly, allegedly.
All under the table.
This is hearsay. This is hearsay.
All hearsay.
But I think you have to look at it in a couple of, like, maybe like 3 different ways. Like, just for the product of the game, it's going to make the product better, I think, because there's going to be a lot more parity. The Alabamas, the Ohio States, the Clemsons, they're not going to dominate for a decade anymore. I think when you look at it from a player perspective, I think it has more opportunity to be negative if you have guys just jumping around for money, chasing playing time and not actually being developed and spending the time like we all had to do, spending the time developing your game, getting stronger, letting your body change and adapt to the game. And so I think players have an opportunity that, like Jared said, like if a coach leaves, if there's just information you don't know, if maybe you can't handle it being that far from home, or maybe you need to get further from home, I think the opportunity to make those changes is going to be huge for them, but I think they have to be intentional about it, and have a plan and get the right guidance. And how do you get the right guidance? I don't know. We only been doing NIL for a few years, but I think the third aspect from a player perspective is, like, I know for me, one of the biggest things that I got from Vanderbilt was my network of friends, like my teammates. And I don't know would I have that had I been to 3 different universities.
There you go.
And, maybe my resume on tape would have been a little bit better, but, I played 6 years. I'm not even 30 yet, and it's already over. So I think that my relationship with E-Man, my relationship with Jared, my relationship with all the rest of my other teammates, the coaches, and even the administration at Vanderbilt that I still have, and the professors that I have, and the students who didn't play sports. I think those are super valuable, and I think that if we lose sight of that, for the money, which I'm not saying that the money is huge. We all know time value of money, and a dollar today is worth more than a dollar tomorrow. So you have to make decisions with all of that in mind. I just think that we have to be looking at the intangible currency that we're getting from going to certain schools. Like, I've got a little cousin now who's committed to Stanford. I I don't care if he plays a snap for 3 years. I want him to get the Stanford degree,
Yeah.
And make the most of that network and get developed and then go somewhere else. You know what I mean? But that's what I want, having been through it. And I don't understand the layout of what it looks like to be in a locker room. I'm getting long-winded, so I'll slow it down. But, he's got to make his own decisions, and players have got to make their own decisions. But I think it has the opportunity to be really positive, a real net positive for players and for the product. You just got to reel it in and create some rules and some boundaries, so that, one, you're protecting players from bad agents, bad contracts, and for a lot of guys, this is going to be the biggest wealth generation opportunity that they have. Probably for, if they do it right, it'll be for the next 20 years of their life, because your best earning years are in your 40s and whatever. But this is a bloodline changing generational opportunity, and you just have to put those different guardrails around the players. So I think it's a good opportunity. I don't think it's ruining football. I think it has a opportunity to be a real net positive.
Excellent. E-Man, what are your thoughts on NIL and transfer portal?
I think those two guys really hit it on the head. I agree. The money that these guys can make right now in college is great money. That can really set them up and change a lot of things. So a lot of the guys come from different situations and not always stable situations, to say that, right? So for them to be able to really be able to make money now in college, because they're not guaranteed to go play at the next level.
Right.
Like that, they still might be getting paid a lot of money in college, but they might not get that call on April 23rd, like, hey, you're going to play in the NFL, right? So they still got to figure out how to do that. But I'm with Carr. I think, and what Jared said, they got to put rules. I think Saban or Trump put a rule, they get a one free transfer, right? Because I do think, if you're just chasing money, we're missing out on teaching these young men on how to be, or just young kids, how to be adults, right? Because we were there, we didn't play our freshman year. We knew either you get redshirt or you got to grind it out. It was no I'm not happy here because I'm not playing, I'm leaving. It's no, dog. You either put the work in or you shut up and you sit on the bench, right? And that's kind of was how we knew it. So I'm like, that right there is teaching these kids actually endurance, how to have adversity in their life, how to everything to get what they want to go, the way they want it to go. How do they actually bounce back from that, right? Because when you leave sports, and we all can attest to it now, if you make it 6 years, 10 years, you're still in your young 30s. I got a lot of friends that we've seen and people on our podcast now talking about playing professional sports, how they're bankrupt for making all that money, right? And they're not being smart. Or shout out to Jared and KB for doing the financial path, right? There's a lot of things, these kids now are getting a lot of access to a lot of things very early. So they need some guidance to make sure they're actually putting it in the right places to actually benefit from it, versus just hey, I'm making $350 a year right now in college, no rent, no bills, no utilities, and food's all taken care of. I'm just gonna ride around and buy a Lamborghini Urus, see how I live. That's not setting you up. You're gonna look up and you're gonna be having the same problems that pro guys have, just sooner.
Yep.
Right. So I think, the NIL is great. I think it should stay. I'm happy it did, and it is staying. I think it's cool, right? As far as you're seeing people, you would have never see Indiana go 13-0 winning that championship.
Right.
Never ever, right? And you wouldn't even think you would see it flip, right, for basketball, right? It's things that are happening because NIL, it's now making it very even, more of an even playing field, because now it's guys ain't getting, I'm not going to Alabama because I know I'm going to win the championship probably 3 out of the 4 years I'm there. It's shoot, I can go somewhere else, build a culture, get paid, and still have a chance to go win. So I think NIL is great. We got to get some tighter parameters around it, and help the students actually be set up to be good adults when they leave college.
No question.
And then just I was thinking about this as E was talking. It's also just fair, right? You look at the amount of money in these TV contracts, and concessions and all of these things that go into the revenue generation of an athletic program of a whole college. The revenue generating sports, men's basketball, men's football, and women's basketball now. You got to get a piece of the pie. It's just fair, like we can get into the legal stuff of it. I think you might have been in that class. It was a sports anthropology class, and we're kind of talking about how the NCAA effectively was operating as a cartel, right?
100%, 100%.
So it's like, just from a legal fairness standpoint, even if you don't agree that kids should be getting paid, right? The scholarship is one thing. There's a value in that, but then also there's incremental value above the scholarship that I think is deserved, and it's only fair that people who are the product get to take part in. It happens in any other business. NFL has a CBA. All the other leagues have CBA. So I think, just from a fairness perspective, even if it's like maybe from a fan perspective, it's watering down some of the loyalty, and this player's been here for 3-4 years and finally getting his shot. It's just fair. So that's kind of my 2 cents on that.
Awesome. E-Man, who's our special guest?
This is Zachariah. He is my youngest of 4. He'll be a year next week. So we're just the other 2 at football practice, which is why I'm outside running around, doing what Jared said, teaching the young generation that's 5 and 4 and 6 to have the love and the passion for it.
I love it.
That's awesome.
We got a question from Daryl, class of 2010, Vandy. Did Diego Pavia, did he ruin the legacy, or did he put him on the map? No shade, just your thoughts.
I think he put him on the map. Like, we obviously had a lot of guys come through who played high-level football at the next level, right? I think for the younger generation of kids now, he put a school on the map for, like, 1, it's in Nashville. 2, you can go here and you can win, and you playing the best talent, and you get to have a good time, and the coaches are good, right? And you're setting yourself up for other things. So I think, like, I don't think he ruined it. I think he amplified what we were trying to do there to be better. He actually was able to have a little bit more shining light to do that.
Right on.
Yeah, honestly, I think we woke up a sleeping giant. Like, when KB was alluding to the money that's available with our alumni network, the city of Nashville, the school, and like all the stuff that comes into that. I mean, you're combining that with the city itself, the people that are there, the people that populate the music scene. I mean, it's when you combine the resources and the opportunity with, okay, there's a legitimate football opportunity in the SEC. I think Diego just made it very clear and apparent that this is something that can be pushed forward, multiplied, replicated. Absolutely. I think he definitely put us on the map. I mean, we were there before, but
That's awesome. That's awesome. KB, you touched on something Aaron and I like to remind our athletes and our families about, how important the alumni and the boosters are at your school, because you need to develop roots at that school. Because if you're bouncing around, I mean, there's just no loyalty, 2 or 3 years at a couple different schools. Jared, you got a new nickname. Ask Hollywood what his first screenplay is going to be about.
Hollywood, wow.
That's going to stick. Hollywood Pink. There we go.
I mean, I've never picked the nickname, so hey, and not all of them has been as good as Hollywood. So yes. So I'm in the process of developing 2 different ones for classes that I'm in. Well, no, 3. 2 for classes, 1 for personal, because I like this stuff. The first screenplay, I'll be honest, I can't, be giving out the stuff.
Okay.
I can give like the gist of it. It is, people do have superpowers. People do have, people do have superpowers. People are killed in this universe, and there's more to it than like just humans. Like people look like animals. I'll just say that.
Okay. All right, Hollywood. Appreciate that. Next question. If you could give any advice to a high school senior that was getting recruited, what would be your 1 or 2 pieces of advice, KB?
Getting recruited, I would say this is gonna sound really like esoteric, but like really like just take the time to like slow down and like meditate and think about what it is you actually want from your college career. Like don't don't think don't pick a school because of the uniforms, because of the NIL contract. Like really just take some time and uh take all the different data points and put together a list of like, okay, if I go to my ideal school, what does it look like in these different areas, and focus on that. Um, Another thing would be, based on your level of recruiting, I'm assuming that's, a senior is getting down to graduation. Uh, I guess this would be for maybe somebody who's getting recruited as a junior, but like, don't get satisfied because you got some scholarships. Keep pushing. Enjoy the time in high school, because even though we had a blast in college, and I feel like 2016 and 2018 were some of my most fun years playing football. Period. I still think, just as a general rule, high school is the most fun you'll ever have playing sports. So, while you're trying to get to that next level and there's pressure and there's applications, remember to have fun. Stay in the moment of having fun with the people you're with now. Don't start looking forward and miss out on the moment that you're in right now. That would be my 2 pieces of advice.
Awesome. E-Man, what are your thoughts on for a kid getting recruited?
Man, if you're getting recruited, as KB said, I committed to a coach. Don't commit to a coach, because every coach got a price, right? I tell kids now, look at a school. If you ever got hurt, could you still see yourself enjoying your life there?
Right on.
If you can't, that school is not for you. Because at some point in the sport, you will have to sit out. So you need to evaluate that. And then, unless it's important to you, like, hey, can my family come see me? What does that look like to be able to impact other people, right? Like, and as Kari said, like, man, enjoy the memories. Be present. Mason already said, be where your feet are, right? Because the game, you'll have a handful of games you remember. You have fun, but boy, the stories you get in the locker room with the guys, those never die. And those are the ones that you'll look back when you're 65, sitting on a rocking chair, and be like, hey, boy, KB, Pig, y'all remember we did this stupid stuff? Like, those are the things that you always remember, you'll be able to cherish. As a high school kid, you don't know that coming in. So pick a school based off what you want to live your life, how you want to be around people, and stuff up, and how you can help create the future you need to create for yourself. Because at the end of the day, you're there to better your life and impact and be around people who can help you do the exact same thing. And never chase a coach. That's my biggest thing. Never chase a coach. They got a price. So I to chase a coach that recruited me. He went to Penn State with Franklin. The following year, went to Mississippi State. The following year, went to Tennessee. I'd have been stuck in Penn State, not happy because I was chasing a coach.
Right.
But I'm happy I decided to stay at Vandy because I actually enjoy the people, the culture, the city, and the life that I can see myself without ball.
Awesome. Pink, what about you? What advice for a young high school athlete getting recruited?
Yeah, I appreciate that. Definitely forgot. Advice. Honestly, don't let it turn into a business, man. Like kind of like what KB was talking about. Don't turn it into where it's a job in high school. Like you're still in the spot. I get that they get paid in high school now, which treat that as a bonus, I also get this. But man, enjoy the times, enjoy the games, wear your jersey on Fridays. I don't even know if they do that anymore. Like, have the whimsical times with the sport, because there's going to come a time where it's like, both of these dudes have kids. So you'll get to a time where like they're starting sports and it's like, hey, daddy, like, do you remember when? Or hey, daddy, what was it like for you? And you want to be able to answer that with an emotional question, with an emotional answer, rather than the technical stuff or the logistics. And like, oh yeah, I had this many yards, or like, what, bro? Like, no, I had the most amazing time my senior year of high school because I got to go to my friend's house after every game and hang out with his mom. Say something like that. If you can't, then you're not doing it right. Because the money, if you're doing the sports and the football right, that will come, especially in today's culture, because you're getting paid in high school, college, and the NFL. Don't worry about the money. Get the fulfillment piece, get the joy, so that you'll have that to take you through those tough times when you get to the college and the NFL and you're making the money.
Awesome. We've got Lynn from Florida. She has a 2-part question to build off of you, E-Man. What's your favorite locker room story? And was there ever an athlete or a competitor that you were afraid to play against?
Favorite? Afraid of anybody to play against? No. I think that goes back to what Pick said. You gotta be delusional. Like if I step on that field, I'm not backing down from nobody. I don't care. You can be 8'8", 330 pounds running a 4.3. I'm still thinking I'm taking my chance with you, right? Like, and you might blow me up now. I ain't gonna lie. Like I remember one play, we were playing Alabama. And I remember film watching, and they had put goal line, and they put Derek Payne at that fullback. This man was baptizing every linebacker he hit. But you know what? You gotta stick your nose in there, and you'll live another day. never scared of anybody when you step on that field, man. Because like we both put our pants on the same way, right? That makes it fun. Man, stories though. I got stories. I can tell you so many stories that I don't know if they're rated for the content, right? I mean, shoot, me and Kari almost got the fist fight in our freshman year at a workout because we wanted to be first in line. And then I remember in the locker room, man, like I remember one guy. I'm not gonna say no names, but we got in the locker room freshman year. This senior guy. And like we didn't shower in high school. Like, I didn't shower in locker room in high school. I just went home. So we get in there, everybody's just they're butt naked. And we walk in, and this dude is chasing one of my teammates around the locker room, butt naked, full speed. And the guy is terrified. I mean, KB knows what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
The guy is terrified for his life. And I was like, dog, I can't help you, bro, because I'm like, I ain't trying to get. That's the moment I was scared of somebody right there. I ain't trying to get chased. So
that man I got socks and shoes, and that was it. Never saw nothing like that in my life,
bro. Never. So yeah, so those man like that stuff like that, dude, it never gets old. Cause you see the guys again, you'll crack up laughing. Like, it just makes it so fun. I remember one time, man, like I was riding a high horse, and I can't remember what it was. We had to go against each other. And I think it was a bear crawl one. Like he had a belt on, I had a belt on. We had to see who could pull each other. I was like, okay, I got this, man. And this time, y'all see Pick now. Pick is slim. Like he's in the Hollywood version right now. Pick when he was playing, Pick was like the juggernaut, man. Like, that man was built, sculpted. And I got him. I can do it. I'll beat everybody else. And we say, go. This man done dragged me about 10. I'm like, bro, what in the heck is going on?
Pick
like,
was a smooth 260 now.
Bro, I was like, you shouldn't be this big moving like this. Like, what are you doing? And so it's just like those stories, and you never forget. It's the stories I actually tell my kids. I'm like, man, you're going to go against somebody bigger than you, faster than you, stronger than you. But you don't back down. You have fun. You hit them in the face. You get hit back. Dude, bounce back up, dog. It's what it is. And
what it is. So, you got too.
Man, what? Marshawn Lynch said it the best. I'm going to get them more than they get me, though. So that's how you look at it. So those are some stories for y'all. The other ones we got to keep offline.
Maybe what about you?
I want to know what goes on in a men's locker room. Like, having been my trainer in college, it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, so the question about the fear, even if there was fear, like I know we seem like really nice guys sitting here and families and but there's a switch, so there's a switch. So no, we never feared anybody. Like E-Man was a linebacker. I was a linebacker, made the move to running back and fullback, and Jared played tight end. So in order to play those positions, you gotta be willing to bang, and we did it at a high level, and so the banging was, So no, we didn't. There was really never any fear of any one person or really any team, in my opinion. Funniest story, I think the funniest story for me would be me and E-Man's. It's not the funniest, but it's the one I'm gonna tell here. It's me and E-Man's freshman year. We're getting out there. It's our first workout, and a couple of guys are running out there, probably just a minute late, maybe even 30 seconds late. But
oh God!
And so we had to do these things called thinkers, where you get on your elbows and you have to. It's like a plank, and so we're doing that. That's That's a disaster. We get into the weight room. We're doing wall sits.
Wall sit.
And we got a teammate who is he's really struggling, having a hard time. And so coach says, I'm not starting the clock until you all get down. And so some of us are down, some of us are not. He finally gets down and he yells at the coach, "Start the clock!" it was the craziest thing. And so then we're getting our dose of punishment. The next day, he's having a bad time. I'm not gonna call his name. The next day we come in, there's a chalk outline on the ground where he fell out. And they put caution tape around it like a dead body. And so that was just kind of like,
And that thing stayed there all season. That chalk stayed out all season.
Yeah, his body was on the way. Yeah. So that would be one of them. One of thousands. It's something new happened every day.
Yeah,
something new happened every day. So it was that one.
Pink, what about you?
Well, the fear one, they answered it perfectly. There was none. I kind of skipped past that. That was very conceited. Hold on. Like, as far as like there was no like concern like going up against somebody like, oh man, like they might beat me. Like it just happens. Like for me, if there was like fear, quote unquote, it was like I don't want to hurt people. Because in high school, like I was a receiver, so like I was folding dudes who were like 5'5", 5'7", whatever, and lined up in front of me because you just put your small guys at corner back then. And then even like linebackers and stuff. I did play tight end. But for stories, I'll be real, man. There's not a ton of PG ones that were like there are a ton of like hilarious things that happen, but it's like telling our friends stuff. So I think I got one. Now this is my brother, so I'm not gonna say his name, but we were doing an early morning workout, and
I know this.
Yeah, they tell us like, hey, we're doing this stuff at like 5:30, 6, 5, sometimes 6:30, whatever. Eat the night before and eat the morning of. Like do a shake, just something. Get something on your stomach. And the only reason I saw this unfold is because I was late and was doing Turkish get-ups in the back while the defense was going. They're doing up downs or whatever it is, and my brother just falls out on the field, like done, like not like the cartoon version of, like bro was gone, like on the ground. And I have to stop for a second. I'm like, well, what just happened here? And we got like staff running to the like going like, hey man, like is he okay? They carrying my dog off, and I'm like looking, still doing my get-ups. I'm like, hey coach, is he good? Can't call it. Like, so we get to the point like he's just laid out on the side in the back. They're like waving toast in front of his nose, like, hey, yo, you good? Wait, you good? You all right? You straight? Hilarious. Like
I know exactly who you talking about too. I remember.
Yeah, that is my absolute dog.
Yeah. As soon as you said early morning workouts, I knew which one you was going to because that picture is etched in my mind.
Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my God.
Well, we want to be sensitive to your time, and E-Man, I know that you got the family. It looks like you're locking it up. We wanted to get you guys locked in for an hour, but I mean, this looks like a ticker tape. The questions keep rolling through here. But what I want to do is I want to give you guys an opportunity. If anybody wants to reach out to you, whether it's financial services or whatever it is that you're doing, that someone can get I know, E-Man, you and I talked about you work with Amway with your wife. So if anybody's interested in getting into that, we'll start with you, E-Man. How can people get a hold of you, whether it's your social media or website?
Yeah, you can Instagram, Emmanuel D. Smith. I'm on there. You'll see the kids and the family running around. I'm on LinkedIn quite a bit too, being very active. One of those two is the best ways. I normally reply back to everybody who reach out to me that way.
Got it. You know what? I got one more question that I think is a great one. What is your superstitions? Real quick. We'll go back to you, E-Man, then we'll go KB and Jared. Do you have any superstitions?
Superstitions. I had to take a pregame poop Every time. That was my thing. Like, bro, if I didn't poop, I go in the field, I was over with. Like, it was like, hey, coach, time out. I got to run back inside real quick. I just had to get those first nerves out, and then I had to get slapped really, really hard on both my sides, like wake me up. Like, hit me now before I get on the field so I can go crazy and just hit people and not care.
KB, any superstitions?
So it's not like a superstition, and it's kind of like ease a little bit, but it's the other way. Like if we had a game and I was nervous and I threw up, it was gonna be a good game. It was gonna be like a really solid game, and I really typically didn't eat before games, so just to keep that from happening. But if I up chucked, it was like, okay, it's ready to go. So I'm trying to think if I have any other ones, but that's really it.
Where can people get a hold of you, KB?
So just like E, you find me on Instagram. If you type in my name, I should be the only one. My Instagram name is KB_23, and you have to spell out the 2 and the 3. So it's TWOTHREE. Otherwise, you can just put my name in, and then on Instagram, and then on LinkedIn, just Kari Blasingame at LinkedIn. And that's it. I'm pretty active on both of those, and if you shoot me a message, I'll definitely respond. So
awesome. Jared, any superstitions, and where can people get a hold of you?
Nah, man. These guys with the body stuff. I just didn't want like my pants or like jersey too tight, like I just wanted to be able to move. But getting a hold of me, I think it's _Jared Pinkney, all just one on Instagram, and then LinkedIn. You just type my name in. Like KB, if you message me, I'm definitely going to respond. There's no big time or anything like that. If I can help you in any way, I will do that as well. And if you can help me in any way, that would be great as well too. So
it's a two-way street. That's awesome. We got a comment from Michelle. Aaron, you talk too much.
I do talk too much. She must be my friend that tuned in to watch. That's one of my best friends. Thanks, Michelle. I do have a lot to say in this regard.
Aaron,
I won't share any of my locker room stories from when I was a trainer in college. Dear God, I was like, whoa. Boys are crazy.
Yeah, and I bet they always smelled really good too, right?
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know boys could smell so bad, and now I have a 16-year-old son, so I can totally relate. I'm like, please take a shower, like 2 times a day. You can't shower enough.
Aaron, take us home.
Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to drop all their links in the comments from the show, so you guys will have that. You can connect with them. These are 3 of the best people that we know. They are great, great, great individuals. So we are just so grateful, so blessed. And thank you for sharing your wisdom and knowledge with our audience.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
E-Man, KB, Jared, thank you so much, you guys. Aaron, thank you. And team, have a fantastic rest of your evening. We'll see you on the next episode.